Alright, hello again. We're going through the process of making a subnet and why we make a subnet. We've already done this quite a bit already because you have did the worksheets, but this is kind of explaining it and how you format it when you're doing this. You get the process, the math down, but you don't understand necessarily why. So what we have right here is a subnet mask right here. Is everything up to 255, setting 255. Then we're going to start borrowing what these blue numbers are in order to rate subnets. So we borrow one, we get two subnets, and we get this many hosts, 32,000. Borrow two, you get 4, and then 16,000, so on and so forth. So quite a scale that you notice will reverse itself as you go down the list. Math, right? So again, as we're doing it with 2 to the first power, to the second, to the third, this is the number of subnets you make when you borrow bits. And as it goes, the network portion moves over. For the worksheets, they actually call this a subnet part, but you can see the difference in the color right here. And this still being the host. And so that's what you get. This is the new subnet address. This is the other subnet address. And the next subnet address. As you can see, it's what these bits are changing as we go down until we get all the way to the bottom here. So how do we calculate the number of hosts? Well, again, 2 to how many host spots there are, minus 2 for number of valid. So again, network address is all 0, broadcast is all 1, first host is right after the network address, and the last host is just before the broadcast address, just counting. It's easy like this, where we have it here, where we are the full range. When you start breaking the ranges down, it gets a little more difficult. So that's why we had touched the procedure before. So, how would you make 1,000? Well, you have to go down here, starting at 10, and borrow all the way over into the third octet. Move it way over. And this, you don't need to change the binary because we know we're keeping these. These are the ones that are changing and being messed with, fiddle-faddled with. You see, this is an example of that. See? 64, 128, 192, 1. And it'll be 164, 128, 192, 2, so on and so forth. Bits remaining give you the number of hosts. And again, how we do this? All zeros in here. So it's 255 here, but it's 63 over here because remember this is the third octet right here. This is the fourth octet. That's 255. And what does this add up to? 63. Yeah. So this is the part where it can be kind of annoying. So this, if you send something to this IP address, you send it to every single host on there. And this no longer represents all of that range. It just represents up to 2, I think it is. That 2. Again, nice little video to walk you through the process. Yay, wonderful. Best to hear more than one way. Again, you've had a lot of practice, so you understand it. We're talking about why we do this. Let's see, why would you do this? Well, you want your sales department to have their own stuff. Your tech support, your engineers, your resource executive. You might do it by buildings. You might do it by levels. So on and so forth. Geographical areas. You might put all printers on it, all servers on one. Because you get a lot of broadcasting, you get a lot of overflow. You can get a real big problem with that. So this is the subnet. This is the full subnet they have right here, 172.16, Class B. So all their devices, but they want to break it out. They want to subnet these down. So what you do, you take your subnet part, your host part. This is your current one. And you start doing the magic. Take this group here. Start turning. I don't know why there's a dot. Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry. I don't know why there's a dot there. That's the whole octet. That's the other whole octet. There you go. And they start. Because it's 22, not 24. Alright, there you go. You borrow 4, looks like. And that's where you get your new network addresses right here with your subnet mask number. This is the new subnet portion. This is still the network portion. This still is the host portion over here. Now you put in your subnets. And notice you have a subnet between routers because each connection between routers is a whole net, even if it is just a line to a line. So yeah, you don't just have 5 subnets, you have 9. You have to be careful about that, which is why there's something called variable length subnet masking. It's just something for the second year class. Here you go. If you want to do this in binary, go ahead and give it a couple tries. Randomize numbers. Most needed. See if you figure it out. Dot decimal, prefix notation, binary. Yeah. This is the start. Go from there. Not doing that. You can do these if you want to practice them. They're not required. There you go. That's all of it up to. We keep going. This is we do talk about the variable length subnet masking. Oof. This one's kind of annoying because you're subnetting subnets. I didn't realize. I thought that was second year. Maybe they added in this new course. Maybe they added in. Oh, but we do this because you notice that there's 2 connections there. Well, that's kind of a waste of IP addresses. It gets to be kind of a problem. So you take one of these subnets and you subnet it again. And they're just talking about how you're wasting numbers because you have 30 hosts and you only have 2 connections. You know, it's a waste. So with the variable length subnetting, you're just subnetting a subnet. Yeah. Basically, I suggest you start off subnetting first and then do it again. So basic version of it is network portion. This host portion you borrow 3 bits. So you have the subnet part, the host part. Now they say add on to the subnet part. Personally, I call the subnet a subnet because keeping it straight can be fun. This way you can have smaller subnets again. But it'll all come back to the main master one right here. Well, this subnet range will go back to the master network range. These subnets of subnets will go back to the subnet range. I know. Yeah. Another little video, he might explain it better than I do. He is a droner. In practice, yep, see here you go. 192.168.0 something dot something. On all of these, you're all within the same master one. But as you see, we have 30 instead of 27 because we took one of the 27s, one of the subnets, and subnetted it down again and divvied those out. And how do you enter them? Same way you always do. Just make sure you have your math worked out and you framed it correctly. The same commands, nothing changes there. You just have to have the logic in place correct. And then here you have a chart. You will build these charts. Otherwise, you won't be able to keep track of these things. Seriously, you will not be able to. And so they will reference this into the 30 range, and then you'll break it down and it'll give you the hosts. And the 30 range where they start and end. And you also you'll notice here there's 4 gaps. Remember, one is this is for the network address. There's 227 would be the broadcast for, well, I guess both hosts, and then you have these 2 hosts, first and last. There's nothing else in there for you. Somebody else to walk you through and explain it. Second year goes this in the way more depth. We actually have to do it. In this case, just be aware of it. I don't think there's any questions on any tests about it other than being aware of it. So you don't actually have to do it. You just have to be aware of what it is. You can practice a little bit. It's a pain. I will say nothing. I can't say anything else. It is a pain to do. That's why we're not going to do it unless we have to. So that's it for 8.1. I will keep adding on to it every day I can.